Well, hi everybody, it's Leanne with another video for my card kits. So each month I offer at least 2 card kits to go, and this one is the Brushed with Beauty. Gorgeous florals and prints, new in our online exclusives. So I have some fun fold cards for you. Actually, most of them, not quite all of them, are fun fold cards. So the kit includes 10 pre-cut cards, a spool of vanilla twine, and the Pearls of Beauty. These are flat pearls in 3 colors. So you will get a half a pack of designer paper as well, those who order the kit. Now some of you, either my team or you've just ordered the tutorials, so either or, you can enjoy making these cards. All right, the first card is this one. This is the fun fold. So it is, let's see, Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, Vanilla, and Mossy Meadow. Okay, get this started. Lots of pieces. All right, we will use our bone folder. This is 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored so it meets. Now this part is going to adhere down. However, I'm going to show you a different version than this one. If you want, you can make it into a gift card holder. So I'm going to just spread some of that out a little bit so you have a pocket. Okay, this layer is going to go on here. Guess I'm starting with the inside. And of course you'd want to stamp before you add this. Okay. Now it's a little bit different in that here I covered up between the two, the vanilla and the designer paper, so they met. So the little Calypso Coral piece met. Here I'm going to, still going to leave a pocket, but I'm going to put that on oh, that was a lot, on the vanilla. So we'll just slide that over a little bit. I am getting a little extra glue today on some of my projects. I'll wipe that off on something. Hold on a minute. Don't have too heavy of sticky fingers or too much sticky fingers. Okay, back to the front. We will add our beautiful designer paper. Now, why did I use Petal Pink? Honestly, I'll tell you, I used a different pattern paper on here, and then, because I thought I had one of each sheet, making sure I used a little bit of each. And as I turned this over, as I was putting it away, I'm like, I didn't use that piece. So I had to rethink, but it works because you add a little bit of the flowers to there, and it works. So let's get our vanilla twine. This is part of our essentials pack. Now I'll show you how I do this. So I'm going to leave enough to tie a bow, about 3 inches maybe. Go up and kind of open that up at the bottom. How did I do that? Now it's turning out a little bit different. Oh yeah, that works. Okay. All right. I confused myself. All right. Okay. Done with the twine. So now I'm going to tie a bow here. I might have given myself a little bit too much, but I'm going to tie it pretty tight up at the top. But I want this to be open at the bottom. It just adds a little bit of interest. So I'm going to do the typical, and I'm kind of holding that knot firm as I tighten and double tighten. Okay. All right, so these get layered together. Now this would be really pretty sponged with Petal Pink. I did not do that. I should have, could have. I'm just going to add 2. That's enough to lift it. But yeah, it would be beautiful if you added a little bit of Petal Pink sponging on the edge of that. add our adhesive halfway point. You can bring it over, hang it over as much as you want. Just want to make sure it's even. Okay, so I gave myself a couple different options. I don't think there's enough of the, actually on this card, you can see the difference. This one, the Calypso Coral shows on the front. This one, it doesn't. So this would be very appropriate if I wanted to have just a little bit. And then this could be used on the inside of this one. It would be really pretty to add that right here. A little surprise. So these are fussy cut. In fact, I think I will do that. It's just pretty. Do this one a little bit different than the other one. Okay, and this one we're going to add a dimensional at the top because it's going to, this looks like a little spray, so I wanted to aim that way. There we go. Now, some gems. So in this one, oh, this ended up really crooked. What happened there? Did anybody else notice that? Anybody else use the product Undo? One of my team members, Ginny, she loves her Undo. It does not ruin your paper like I am ruining mine. But as long as I don't ruin the top layer, nobody but you and me is going to know that it's torn under there. Goodness. A little bit more adhesive. Now you see how I really work. Crooked. And I'm going to need another dimensional under here because it's all wonky. Okay, so I'll just add some of the cream, or I don't know what color these are. We will do a few over here and another one up here. Okay, first card done. Beautiful. All right, next one, another fun fold. Let me find this one. This is Mossy Meadow again with Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. Okay, let me just wet my whistle here. I did not tell you, but all of the greetings are from the Delicate Framing stamp set. It's new online exclusive. I did use some dies from the Petals of Beauty bundle. So I only used this one right here. Oh, and this one. Okay, all right, moving on. This is a definite fun fold. Let's see. So you can see how the main card base is 11 inches scored one extra time to reveal that. And this is where I used that die. So I'm going to get started by just adhering some of my elements together. Some of these designer papers do have a direction. I'm kind of looking at the buds, I guess you'd say. This is the inside, got my bow. Here is my extra layer, extra fold, I should say, extra fold. Okay, so this one's going to go in there, this one's going to go here. There's some fabulous prints in this set, in this pack of designer paper. Okay, and this will leave just that perfect 1/8 inch on between these layers. And if you're going to stamp, stamp first. Do not adhere this until you have stamped. the inside. Okay, so now I'm going to add this, and you could texture this one easily, add a little bit more interest to this. Okay, so how to adhere this, basically the only place that adhesive goes is right on this little flap. Okay, so I'm going to lay that down. I'm looking at the space between, or on the edge of this piece right here. I want them to be the same. And it is 4 1/4 square, so you will adhere top to bottom. I can see my cuts are a little bit off on this one, a little bit too much on the top compared to the other sides, but oh well. Okay, so this right here, this die cut, was actually 1. So you will get 1. You will then snip it. You have 5 leaves on the top one, actually 5 leaves each. So you will trim it right, see, you can kind of see I trimmed it right there. Right there. So you will use 1 on one card and 1 on the other card. So it's pretty neat. Now we're going to add dimensionals. Of course, can't not use them. It does add so much. Again, sponge, if you like that effect, go ahead and sponge. So to add adhesive here, you don't want to do much. What I prefer to do is do a kind of a smear effect, where I get some adhesive down and then I wipe it away with a tip. And yes, my tips get messy, but you can easily wipe them off. So you're going to sneak this underneath without touching and adhere that down, and then tie a bow and add that with a mini glue dot. So the best thing to do is to press your glue dot, your bow on the glue dot, and then fold it over so it's not sticking out. You don't need a wide glue dot, you just need I'm going to sneak that under a little bit. Oh, it doesn't want to be snuck under. There we go. Don't have to do that. It's just what I felt like doing. Now, let's add our gems. And I'm going to use white here because there are white and vanilla flowers. So you can use white. Even though I've got some vanilla there on the twine, it's not close enough to really matter. I mean, did you notice? I bet you didn't notice. Yeah, it almost looks vanilla. So, second card. All right, we will make this card next. I love this card. I like the colors. The combination of this designer paper, kind of see, is Darling Duckling, vanilla, and early espresso. Goodness. Okay, here's my bone folder. And I did stamp on here already. Now you could now texture it. I was going to do that and I forgot. Darn. Oh well, it's fine. So I don't want to adhere that on there. First, now you will notice that this came from this piece. This is, I'll put it in the directions, but 5 1/2 long. Yeah, 5 1/2 long because it's off the paper, and 3 3/4 wide. And then you put a little measurement at 1 1/2 here and 1 1/2 here on this piece, and then cut from there to there. Super easy. So the measurements will be in the directions. No need to worry, but you stamp first with this laying on there so you know your parameters. Because if you make a mistake, you can always flip it over and do it. If you get it crooked or something, you can use the other side. So you just lay it on there, and then after you're happy with your stamping, you can go ahead and adhere. So the reason you do not adhere this on there first is because of this. You're going to get a strip of espresso cardstock, and it might be a little bit longer than this. This one's a little bit shy. Not shy, but darn close. So you want to be sure, and you can go any length away from that edge, that your shortest area, shortest tip goes beyond that vanilla. Okay, this one just meets it, which is okay. All right, once it's set, simply trim the ends off. Now you can adhere this. Isn't that beautiful? Such pretty colors. First I was not thrilled with Darling Duckling, but I sure like it now. Okay, I'm going to use a mini glue dot to adhere this flower. It gives it just a little bit of a pop, not a lot. In fact, I'm going to do 2 because it'll give it a little bit of a lift. Now these do not match. These are simply meant to be off. They do not match. They're not meant to be. Okay, so just, yeah, I will pop this up. And I'm going to go outside of the center because I'm going to add a gem, and I don't want that to be even thicker. Okay, so I want to add that. And the inside, oh, I didn't give myself an inside on this one, but you will get one. Okay, and then the gems, I'm going to use that kind of cream color right in the center. It kind of picks up the other colors around you. Beautiful. Okay, next is this pretty card. It's just a fun way to use your designer paper and some other pieces. Okay, so this one is not a fun fold. So we're going to add our designer paper, our inside first. You could add a little strip of designer paper across the bottom or the top if you'd like to. It always jazzes things up a little bit. Save it until you have cut all your pieces, because then you can grab those scraps and utilize them. Okay. Which way? I guess this way's up because of the little flower sprays that are there. Okay. Now this was an embossing folder. I forget what it is, but it doesn't have enough lift. It was not a 3D folder. I wish it was. I think it would have made a lot more difference. Oh, I can see it's just a hair too long. Excuse me, I trimmed the other one and I forgot to trim this one. So just a moment while I trim, and there we go. It's going to overlap. And be just a little off of center, just to add some interest. Okay, and this will go across the side. Great layout to use your designer paper, your scrap pieces. This one's a little too long, which is, I'm going to scoot it up just a hair. Okay, and trim. Okay, so our greeting is Mossy Meadow, Calypso Coral, and Petal Pink. Again, it works. Don't mess with it if it works, right? I just tear off my edges. I am not one of those fussy people who worries about what is underneath. let's see if I get this straight. If people look under there and find something that's not perfect, well, that's okay. Try not to sweat the small stuff. Okay. Now we'll add gems. I'm going to do the same thing, I think. No, I'm going to try all 3 Calypso coral this time. Pretty good. Now to tie a double bow like this one, I'll show you how I do that. So usually about 6 inches doubled over. Okay. All right, so then try and straighten it out so it's not quite so loopy. And then I can see I didn't give myself a lot of extra. So 2 ears in the bunny face and pull. Never looks good first. Hold on to the knot, pull that bunny ear, and you can kind of pull both things so you can keep them even. There we go, turned out pretty good. My gluey scissors, it is so full of glue. I will trim that later. But then I put that right beside there just to add a little extra something to the card. Press it on my glue dot firmly, lift it up. There we go. 4th card, 1 left. Okay, this one, I love this one. It's so pretty. So soft. It is vanilla with petal pink, a little bit of, I was going to say chocolate chip, early espresso. So here is how it's folded. It's a little bit shy of a full 8.5 long. I think it's like 7 3/4 maybe. Okay, so this, I'm going to make it so the pattern goes up. And this one, again, pattern goes up. Okay, so here we go on the inside. This is how it opens. Little surprise, a little bit of floral on the inside. Okay, so what you do is lay that in there. Oh, why is this one a little bit smaller? Oh, I don't know why it is a little bit smaller, but we'll make it work. That's interesting. Yes, it is smaller, but it's going to work. We'll just have it, I don't know if I want to center it. Yeah, I think I do. We will center this one. Okay. All right, so what you do, you'll cut yours to size, which is 4 inches. I don't know what happened to me, why this one ended up shorter, narrower. And once you add adhesive, it's all good. Does not matter. Okay, so here is the card once again. Okay, so I'm going to trim a little notch here, a little banner end. First you do about 1/4 inch snip, and then you go from edge to edge. Whether you go from tip to tip or make them even, that's totally up to you. Okay, so this little flower came from the piece of the designer paper. I did fussy cut it, but it adds so much to this. So we will add our adhesive just to one side. Bring that over. I could have done it a little bit higher. It'll be fine. Want to make sure it's even and straight. I'm kind of matching up this edge here. And again, you could sponge this. I'm not going to, but I am going to add some dimensionals to this espresso die cut. And I want it to hang over a little bit, and that spray of flowers to be off to the side, not too high. Okay. And make sure that your greeting is straight. I don't know if it has to be in the center per se, but make sure it's straight, if at all possible. When you get curvy words on there, it's quite difficult to get them nicely even. Okay, a little bit of adhesive, and I have a dimensional right under there, so that works really well. So I'm going to do something. Oh, I forgot to put this under there. I have this large loose bow. Oh boy. Okay, that's not quite wet yet. We will add, I'm going to try and use my Take My Pick tool to get this in there. Okay, I lifted it up just in time. Get those tails in there and get my adhesive back. Okay, that worked out. Okay, so gems. Now here I did 3. I'm going to do just 2 on this side. Could do 3, but I'm going to try for 2. Okay, there we go. Done. Now remember, I did not do all of the insides here. Aren't they beautiful cards? Love them. Okay, there you go. I hope you enjoy your tutorial, your kit, card kit, or making these and using them with other designer paper, and using these same layouts with other designer paper, because you can definitely change them up that way. All right, thanks so much. I appreciate you watching. Take care. Bye-bye.